In my talk, I'm going to talk about internationalization, your application. And this is not about making the website multilanguage, but it goes a step further, like make the user will feel at home in your website. Well, actually, there's an S in there. At least the bridge says that. And who is this guy? Who is this guy? Well, I am a software engineer. I work now at TrueServer. It's a company in Amsterdam. It's a hosting company. I use CakePHP since 2007 and contribute since 2008. And also Brazilian, so if you don't understand my English, it's because, well, I learned by myself and, you know. So localization. What is localization? It's adapting or converting the application to be used on a particular local. So, but what is a local? Local defines the user language. So, for example, in Brazilian, I speak Portuguese, not Spanish, so. And also the country. So for me, the local will be PTBR. For example, this one. A local is composed by the language, the territory, the char set, and also modifiers. So for example, you can just use English or N, also NUS. And for, what's that? I think it's for Czech, yeah, exactly. You can use also the char set. And in some occasions, you can use also a modifier. For example, CA stands for Ceará, which is a state in Brazil. And there is some difference in the language. So using that, you can use some slangs or some things that can modify the language. For example, we have this table here. The OED stands for Oxford English Dictionary Spelling. So you can see that the difference is like minimum. Like century, defense, realize they use the Z instead of S. And also for Canada, they can just use both, like S or Z, does not matter. Internationalization. So it's about supporting international data, which can be test content, numbers, currency, dates, times, and calendars. Also language. For example, different systems of numerals. We use decimals, but there are some cultures that use vigesimal, like French, yeah, from Celtic, and Danish. And also octogonal, like 8-0. So can you imagine that? And some cultures from Mali or Africa. And also writing direction. For example, we use left to right, but there are some cultures that use right to left, or even top to bottom, and well. And graphical representation of texts. So when you see an image, for some people can mean something, but for others can mean totally different things. So maybe you need to have some different images based on a language or a locale. And also audio, of course. So writing conventions, datetime format. Also, for example, in datetime format, you can have day, month, year, or month, day, year. So that's we also cover on writing conventions. And different calendars. Like for Chinese calendar, the years usually start on late January or early February. And so it's a big difference. And time zones. Number formatting as well. So I think in Netherlands, they use the comma for separate these decimals. And here they use like the point, the dot. And difference in symbols as well. So like euro, the euro symbol, or the dollar symbol. And there is also some difference in culture. So what does that mean? You know, you stop there and you can do nothing. You just be sitting. Images and colors is also present on different cultures. For some cultures, I think red is something offensive, and also images. Telephone numbers, like the format of that. Currency. Symbols format. Weights and measures, like pounds, like kilos, like feet, you know. And also government assigned numbers. So all this it has to be present on a internationalized system. For example, in US, they have social security number. In UK, they have national insurance number, and things going on based on country to country. And there are some others, like national variations of language, like the example I gave for some states of Brazil. Local content, like present some data related to that locale. Like you may have a multi-language website, but does not mean that your website is for that locale, because, well, you can give some useful information to that locale itself, like news, relevant news to your region. And in some cases, you go like extreme, like order of sorting. So why care? Well, this is a big image. All the green countries are the countries that speak English. So yeah, the world is bigger than English American speakers or UK speakers. For example, in China, you have 1.3 billion people. Imagine that you can focus on that market and sell your products and, you know, take some profit there. From Netherlands, for example, they have 17 million people. So it's a small country, and maybe your company needs to be more, needs to target other markets to be successful. So, okay, let's rule the world. Let's do all the things, let's support all locales. It's not that easy, because in the world there has almost 450 countries, 250 countries. And also they have a bit more than 6,000 languages in the world, and also some variants. So you cannot support that. Well, at least if you're superhuman, you can, but well. And well, like I said, it's not only make a website multi-language, but it's about giving the user more experience, like feel them, make them feel at home. Like small changes, you can do some big impact. For example, personal names. There are some examples of personal names around the world, and not everyone likes to be called, for example, Mr. Bin Osman or Mr. John. So this is a formula, and you can choose all the different names. For example, that's my name, it's a big name. And my first name is Renan, and yeah, we can see that. And I don't want to call Mr. De Lima. I want to call Mr. Renan, because that is what he called people in Brazil. And there are other examples of forms. This is forms I've been struggling to fill in Brazil and also in Netherlands. They have always different formats for forms. In Netherlands, they have like this, initials between names and last name. I got some confusion when I had to fill a Netherlands form, because I never know what I should put on initials or between names. I don't know if De Lima is part of last name or is between names. So instead, just ask for the user, what's your full name? And what should we call you? So you can give more experience for them. Like I said, I wanted to be called Renan, not Gonçalves Cardoso Lima or not De Lima. So in that example, Mr. Jorg, I don't know, they can call Mr. or Mr. the full name, and also Isa Bin Osman is a Malay name, you can call Mr. Isa, and John Keynes, you just call Mr. Adams. But how to do this in CakePHP? Is you just need a big array of keys and just print it, right? No. Because that has some problems, like context can change, like you can maybe use Elcom on certain parts of the website, but not everyone. The context can change. and it's hard to find exactly what you want, because imagine like a big array and all the keys, all the values. It's hard to see if the values already exist on that file, and if not exist, you have to create another one. And hard to know what it means, what welcome means. I don't know, what does it contains? I don't know. So, and also when you are using plural, makes things even harder. I see some systems like WordPress, like Drupal in the past that used to have like big arrays, and that's not really nice, because for plural forms, for example, in Brazil, we use 0 item, not items like Americans do. So that's wrong for Brazilians, because you have 2 items equals 1 or equals 0. And some Asian countries have, for example, Chinese, Japanese, they have only one form of plural. So there is no, it's always 0 items or 1 items, 2 items, and go forwards. In Polish, for example, they have 3 forms of plural. So you start to get worse and worse, and supporting this on these methods is not easy. And also, Arabica, they have 6 forms of plural. So CakePHP way, you are going to use the libraries and translate behavior. It's not translatable, it's translate behavior, so a little typo. It's very easy. You just need to use that function. It's a get text. Well, not a get text, but it's based on the get text. And you just put the message you want to display, no matter what. For plurals, you just need to put your, well, for plurals, it's actually based on American that has 2 forms. So you just put the singular one first, and then the plural, and then how much items, or the count, or something. If the welcome to your applications is not translated to Portuguese or any other language that you are using the website, it will automatically fall back to the default message. So you'll not end up like having blank text or wrong message, because they will always be there. And there are other functions like $_D for domains, so you can just have different files, different contexts for your strings. DN is like domain, but in plural forms. DC is for category. We have some categories like monetary, numeric, and time. So everything is covered. Also DCN is like, domain, category, and plurals. And C, just category. And how to use that? Well, when you just have this new application, it's very easy to make the application speak other languages. You just need to run this command, and we will create the default.pot. For example, this will be the output of that. And it also contains the file name and the line number, so you can easily identify where this string is being used. And to edit that, you can just use an editor, or even use a POEDIT. It's like a software for that, so it covers everything. And also gives some stats of, for example, the numbers, the percentage of how much is left or how many is translated. So there's other ways, not besides that, to translate or to internationalize your application. You can use time helper, so it will display in every country. Also currency. So you can see an example over there. And also now in CakePHP 2.0, you can translate messages directly on the validation. Well, you're not calling that function, double score, but you can just have that, and this shell will extract them all. So no need to use, like in the past, we used to have some translation in the construction methods or in the validate method. So now it's even easier to use that. We also have the translate behavior. which is really easy to use. You just create your table and not put in there the fields that you want to be translatable. So I have user-ID, modified, created, like normal stuffs, but you can see the title or the body. That's why we are going to make that translatable. We need also this table that will contain all the values for that, or you can just use the shell to create the table as well. And to use that, it's really simple. You just need to do that. Act as, translate, and put the fields that you want to be translatable. So you can just have like 2 fields. You can have a numerical fields. No extra code, that's it. You just need that. You can do a GS model save, and it's going to save in their locale. You do a find, and you'll be return what you want. And for example, if you have like a post in English and you are visiting a site in Spanish or Portuguese, and the post does not exist in Spanish, it will fall back to the English version. So everything is covered. There is no need to check if the post exists because Cake does it by default. And also have localization that manage the locales and identify the locales. It's a very important thing to identify the locale, and there are some ways to do that. You can do based on the request, so you can just check what the browser sent to you. I have my configured to English, so it will fall back always to English. There are some websites that when I go like .com, it automatically goes to .com.br. Or you can just use an IP to country like GOP, define the country and set it. You can also check the parameter on the URL, like book.cakephp.org is currently what we have on our book. Or even the URL, like book.cakephp.jp. It's not actually working now, but I think in some time it will be. This is the code you have to do. It's like that. You just need to do configure right and write the locale you want. It can be JP, BR, JP, English, if you want some specific things to be in English. And there are some goodies, like LOCALIZATION plugin. They have localized validation rules, like phone numbers, like phone numbers, also currency, some security, government numbers. Troubleshooting. There are some problems when you do like with UTF-8 or with words with accents, like Gonçalves. They have a C with the little S in the bottom. So make sure you have the right encoding. It needs to be Unicode, so there's no problem with that. It has to be also the meta tag sends the right encoding, so the browser can identify that and properly render the characters. The database char set is also very important because, well, it's our data. You are going to save in the proper way. And the file char set. There are some problems, like I think Notepad in Windows, like real old software, it's just saved on ISO 859991 or something. And that's bad because if you put accent in there, this accent will not be properly rendered in the browser. And to do that, in CakePHP, you just set the app.encoding. It will display the meta tags, it will configure the database, it will do everything for you. So no need to care. So it's not a really long talk, and you are already on questions. Anyone have any questions? Yeah?
When you use the translate behavior and you pass in title and body in your example, do you still put the title and body in your schema and validation in the bottom?
You can do that, yeah. You can validate all the titles, you can do that, because when it builds the model, it just fetched what extra fields they have. So you can do validation, you can do everything just normally. It's not going to change the behavior of your model. So it's a really easy step to go from non-multi-language sites to a localized website. You just need to remove that fields from that table and migrate all the counts to the other table and just use it. There's no extra need for anything else. Yeah?
Yeah, what about form input fields, like when I have the time, and like English time with PM or the Europe time with, yeah.
Yeah, it's already covered as well. The form uses the text helper, I think, or the number helpers. Oh, the time helper. And it's already localized the message. For example, let me show you. Yeah, like this. So it's already built in.
Let's say for a form.
Sorry?
For a form.
Yeah, but they use like the same thing they use on the time helper.
What about currency like on that? Is there any way to, I mean, 123 euros is not equal to $123. Do you have any suggestions on that?
It's not a converter, it's just
Yeah.
the format.
Right,
Like,
that's what I'm asking for suggestions as, I couldn't just output that. Do you have any suggestions on plugins or websites or resources to use to convert live?
Yeah, and there are some problems about that because, well, it has to be like real live because the monetary values can change, so there's some problem with that.
Well, but I mean, I know there's some sites that do it, you know, like orbits and things. Is there,
Google has things.
huh?
Google has things.
Yeah? Okay.
But what you can do is like on Cake 2.0, you can create another form, another helper, extend the normal number helper, and maybe do some calculation there, like get the value, like get the difference, multiply for it, and just display it. I think it's the way to do that.
It actually, very easy to do. There's, I think it's Etsy.com is one of the exchange that actually rank their API, and like they said, Google. And the only thing that you would do is you take the numeric value, pass it over, just very similar to this. I mean, that's the way I would do it, and that's the way I wrote the original code. But I would pass over what you're wanting to convert it to. You would take that and then pass that number over to the currency to format it the way you want. It'd be very simple.
Yeah, for example, like.
I would be ready to pass it every time.
I would do a cron job and we'll just make a config. The cron job will update the config and always keep track of the config.
Yeah, I guess it would be every time.
Yeah, performance-wise, what do you do?
Just knowing that there's a group like that is helpful.
I've got a component that
Google.
does currency conversion.
What's that?
I've got a component that uses the API. I'll paste it in the channel now. I'm just trying to find it.
There's actually an Ajax currency converter. That'd probably work better for you.
Yeah, I think this is the easy way to do in CakePHP, but also the difference, like the difference between, for example, dollar to euro, you have to do by yourself, like using one of these APIs. So it's very easy. So, yeah. Any other question? Yep.
Does the behavior work recursively on associated models or just to the main model?
Yeah, right now it has some problems. It's not a translate thing. It's just more a behavior thing that the callbacks cannot be called on associated models. So no, you can't do that for now. At least for now. I think it's because from some compatibility or for some speed issues. For that.
It wasn't in 1.2, so I'm asking if maybe.
It's because because you can get stuck in infinite loop
Yeah.
code relations like both ways. And it calls that and then just like loops. Is there no, have you seen any behaviors or something to fix that?
Well, I used to have after find callback that just get the data and do another check. So, and well, you can do some joins. That's also cool.
Yeah.
So we have our ion query. You don't have to do extra query something. Yep.
Yeah, you showed that the validate property is automatically translated.
Yes.
Is it true for custom properties as well, or do you need something extra for that?
Custom properties?
Yeah, like you have your own property. Is that also automatically translated? Does it iterate over all properties, or how does it work?
No, I don't think so. I think actually only the value that has on model validation. It's something.
You need to do that in your constructor or something.
Yeah, it's something new to the Cake 2.0, and it only checks for the validate.
Makes sense.
I think I think that. I'm not 100% sure.
Destroy properties property if you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we maybe don't want that. But for validation, you for sure want that. So, more questions? Okay, so thank you. You can find me on renan.sadam@php.org. You can send any mail you want for some other questions or some just do some network, I don't know. Also can find me on Twitter or KHP channel or in RRC, and also on GitHub. There's not much code in there, but I hope it can somehow help you. So thank you very much.